Hello, love bugs, and welcome back to your new favorite show, Dear X, One Last Thing. Typically, a podcast where you send in anonymous letters to people from your past in order to find your closure. But today is Christmas, Merry Christmas, and so this episode is going to be a little bit different. Today's episode is completely unscripted and hopefully feels a bit more personal because of that. Christmas for me is an extremely special time of year, and I know many people can relate to this. I know Christmas for many people is their favorite holiday. It's definitely mine. I love everything about Christmas. The whole month of December is just one of those times I feel really lucky to be alive. It's just like a completely pure and warm feeling inside, and yet I know that not every person feels that way for one reason or another, but I recognize the privilege I have in feeling so excited for Christmas and looking forward to it so much. For some people, it's a reminder of what they don't have, whether that be in a material sense, in a community sense, in the sense of the family that they're missing. It's just one of those times of the year that they're just trying to get through. When I realized I had an episode coming out on Christmas, I really felt like it was such an honor. I don't believe in coincidences, and so I really felt deep in my heart that this episode should be special and should make a change in the best way possible. Christmas has so much meaning to me, and I wanted this episode to have just as much meaning and purpose in the world. I quickly started brainstorming about, like the letters we write to Santa, the letters that people write into the show, wanting to deliver something more than just content. Like, I really wanted this episode to be special in a way that was more than just entertainment. And so I started looking into what are some things I can do to help someone else out during Christmas. I had this idea of, finding a letter that a child had written to Santa about what they wanted, and then somehow being able to buy those presents. But then I kind of thought about I don't know if ethical is the right word, but like, what are the chances that kid sees this video on the internet? I don't know. What if I literally show a child that Santa isn't real? You know what I mean? So then I thought of Angel Tree shopping. If you've heard of Angel Tree shopping, it's pretty popular. So I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like it's also been really popular this year, especially. Maybe it just was all over my For You page because I was researching it. But I'm pretty sure it's through the Salvation Army. But I know that basically you go to a Walmart that's participating. They have a tree in the Walmart. On the tree, you will see paper ornaments. On the paper ornaments, you will see requests from children in need, families in need, and you pick the little ornament off the tree. You go shopping for that child or family, and then I'm not really sure what happens after that, but you put, I think, probably the ornament with the things that you bought, and then they get distributed to that family. I became really interested in this. I really wanted to create a little Christmas vlog of traveling to my Walmart and shopping for this family. And I was really so excited for the idea that my perfectionism kind of took over, and I decided I really needed a mic for my camera to be able to vlog this because my phone quality wasn't going to be, I guess, professional enough that I thought people would actually want to view it. I didn't feel like my iPhone quality was going to be captivating enough, and I wanted this episode to be captivating because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a change. And so I then went into researching different mics for my camera, which caused me to compare and contrast. Finally, I go pick up a mic only to find out that the day that I had bought the mic was actually a day too late for Angel Tree shopping. The submissions had just closed. So I spent basically a week of wasting time caring more about how my content came out than actually making a change for people in need, which went against the very idea of what I wanted this episode to be about. Let that in and of itself be a lesson. And I think that this is constantly being a lesson that we have to revisit in content creation, of the balance of helping people and capturing yourself helping people in order to inspire others to do the same, or in order to shed light on a problem, on a situation, on a solution, versus like the grimier side of that, exploitation, or not actually doing the work that you're putting out that you're doing. So I do want to acknowledge how easy it is to fall into that, and to think it, for me, it was just really easy to get caught up in that idea of like, well, I want this content to be as pleasing to the eye as possible and as interesting as possible, because the more people it captivates, maybe the more people will help out others. But too much of anything is a bad thing. Too much of putting time into the aesthetics of something actually got in the way of the whole point of what the video was supposed to be about. However, hope is not lost. So after a bit of digging, I found this website that stuck with me. It's called One Simple Wish. On this website, you could grant a wish. You could help young adults or children impacted by the foster care system and really the foster care crisis. It's really just an underdeveloped system that is impacting real people every day. And my mom was a foster mom. I had foster siblings growing up. I've become very passionate about helping foster children in any way that I can. And so I hope that by sharing this, it can inspire some people to, even if you don't look to the stats at all, just look at this website and maybe spread a little bit of love, a little bit of holiday cheer community, and show that we can be there for one another even when we don't know the person that we're helping, even when we haven't seen their face and don't completely know their story. We can find it in our hearts to still give. So on this website, you can look under different categories of wishes wanting to be granted: under $100, the longest waiting, time-sensitive, birthday, education, employment, and essentials. There's currently 1,253 wishes waiting to be granted, which totals almost $200,000 worth of wishes. I was thinking, I guess we'll wait and see, but if I just want to choose a couple quote-unquote smaller or just lower price wishes to grant, or just one really big one, I don't think there's a bigger joy in knowing that you help somebody get closer to a goal that they want, a life that they want. Just to know that you made someone's life easier. Like, you had a part in putting a smile on someone's face. Like, you had a part in someone feeling a weight off their chest. Like that, I think that's the biggest gift truly you could not only give, but you could receive. And I think that's more meaningful than any material item. Without further ado, let's get to giving. Let's grant some wishes. Scrolling through it, you'll see the prices and then like a very quick title. I think the ones that reach out to me most is like longest waiting and essentials, of course. The good thing about this is people, I don't know if it's just the holiday season, but people pretty much seem to be on it. Like the longest waiting one is 11 days, and then we have 7 days, then we have 2 days. So thankfully no one's waiting, months or even years to have these wishes fulfilled. And then looking under essentials, this one caught my eye. Under essentials, a trip to Target for Jaden. Jaden is 12 years old in California, and this wish has been waiting 12 days. Jaden is a sweet young preteen who loves to make others happy. Jaden loves giving others compliments and providing joy to those around him. Jaden cares deeply about his friends and family. Jaden has been in the foster care system for the past few years after the passing of his father. Despite this, Jaden continues to be hopeful and sees the good in all. Jaden has also had growth spurts recently, causing him to outgrow his clothes and shoes. A gift card would allow Jaden the opportunity to purchase clothing essentials and fun items such as board games, Pokemon cards, and video games. Wish is only $120, and I will be granting. And just like that, I donated. Optional next step, post a message to the Wishmaker. This little personal touch can go a long way. Consider writing some words of encouragement or even just adding a simple, I hope you enjoy your gift. I could leave a note for Jaden. I didn't know you could do that. Well, obviously, I have to write a letter. This is kind of cool. So instead of having letters written in, I'm able to write a letter to someone else. What should we say? First of all, this story stuck out to me because Jaden is my cousin's name. So immediately familiar name. Then to see Target, like, you just want to go for a Target run. You know, I'm so privileged to be able to hop in my car, go down the street to Target, grab whatever I want, and not think twice about if I could afford it. And then after reading the story of, 12 is such a difficult age. The death of a parent is so difficult. And then to have the death of a parent result, and now you're in a foster care system, and now you're staying with strangers, and you're or maybe not strangers, but maybe distant family. It's not, you're grieving, you're not home, you don't have the things that you want, you need, then growing pains, and all the while, this kid has kept a very kind outlook. The resilience is so inspiring, and I think it's something I can definitely learn from. I think we could all learn from. And I see my life has not been that difficult in comparison, but I see myself a lot in that of like the world just kick you down and you still finding beauty in things. And I never, ever, ever want anyone to lose that quality in themselves. So the letter I wrote was, hi, Jaden. I also love Target, and I hope you find everything you need and want. Never, ever lose your kind heart and positive outlook. I know it's so hard, but people like you are so rare and needed. Be kind to yourself. Know you're deserving of all good things, and I wish you the best. You're bound for great things. It's like I feel a high. Like, I'm telling you, there is no greater feeling than knowing that you made someone's life easier. There's no really greater gift to receive. I found my next one. Warm clothing for Gary, who loves stuffed animals. Gary, 13 years old in New Jersey. 5 days waiting. Gary is a loving boy, although he is nonverbal. His love and sweet personality win everyone over as soon as they meet him. Gary likes to play with blocks and loves it when others read to him. He enjoys sharing and giving lots of hugs to his friends. Gary's a wonderful boy who's very artistic and loves SpongeBob. He likes to wear his superhero cape and is kind to others. Gary uses his iPad to communicate his needs. He loves to jump and enjoys Sky Zone Park. Sky Zone is fun as hell. Gary's having a wonderful year. He's enjoying school. He is learning sign language. Gary tries his best to help with daily activities and chores. Gary also has a daily job that requires him to water the plants, and he is doing an amazing job of doing so. Gary is growing every day, and he is outgrowing his clothes fast. Gary wishes for a few warm winter outfits that will be comfortable and easy to put on when he dresses himself. With your help granting Gary's wish this Christmas, it'll help him continue to be independent while staying warm this weather. Donation to Gary made. Gary stuck out to me so much because I love stuffed animals. And for the longest time, admittedly, I felt like my stuffed animals really had feelings and thoughts and emotions and individual personalities. I really believed that life was like Toy Story. Like, I thought, as soon as I came into the room, they'd all drop. But I truly thought I just wanted them to talk to me. I was like, I promise I won't tell anyone if you guys could talk. I felt like that longer than I'd like to admit. And I think I was forced, maybe for the better, maybe for worse, who knows, but by my parents to kind of like grow up faster and get rid of my stuffed animals. And it caused me to, when I got older, use my adult money for, childhood dreams, for childhood wants, and load up on a ton of stuffed animals, which I still have tucked away in a closet somewhere. Which brings me to, if you watch this podcast, you'll see that I have this little stuffed animal here. You might have seen it in the last couple episodes. This is really just an example of how much, material items aren't everything, and they certainly do not compare to the love you feel from a family member, from a friendship, from a romantic interest, even from community. It certainly, no material item can outdo a deep love and respect for yourself or a deep connection with someone else. However, I do believe material items can help you further become the person you want to become, or remind yourself of the person you want to become. And I think they obviously can be used for so much good, obviously. And that, feeds into why I wanted to do this episode and why Christmas is special and X, Y, and Z and all these things. In kind of a full circle moment, because I've actually been meaning to talk about this little guy for a while. I recently just had felt pretty proud of myself for doing better than I thought throughout my breakup process, in the way that I haven't been as unhealthy in my thinking and in my actions towards myself. I haven't self-sabotaged or self-harmed in the way that I thought I would, or I've been pretty honest with myself and holding myself pretty accountable and forcing myself to go through the uncomfortable growth that is needed in order to actually heal, instead of, kind of taking an easier, more pleasurable route out of the pain and into more of a distraction, instead of actually getting over the pain and healing past it. And so I had just started week 2 of my sugar cleanse. I had just tried my first workout class at Orange Theory, and I went and handled some other responsibilities, canceled one of my gym memberships, and then I just went grocery shopping. And I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, if younger me could see me right now, she would be so proud of us. She would be so happy for us. She would kind of not believe that was really us. And I felt like I needed something to mark this time in my life. And I saw Beanie Babies at the grocery store as I was kind of meal prepping for the week. And I was looking, and I was like, I'm not just going to get a stuffed animal just 'cause, but if there's one that really sticks out to me, then I'll let myself splurge and get a stuffed animal. Just another, like I said, another full circle moment of honoring childhood wants and healing the inner child by being and becoming the person that you kind of needed as a child. And that's, I feel like, where I am right now. And I want to be able to remember this time in my life forever, as vividly as possible. And so I'm looking at the stacks of Beanie Babies, and I'm looking at their birth dates to see if any of them really stick with me or stick out to me. And what I see is this little dragon, which the pink immediately stuck out to me, because this podcast, obviously, if you watch it, if you follow the page, pink has kind of become its theme color. And that obviously is a bit purposeful, because it's eye-catching, and I think it sticks out with the ladies, but it's also a signifier of my own growth. Growing up, I hated pink. I made sure that was very well known, and I think what I really hated was just anyone trying to tell me who I needed to be. And I think I definitely believed femininity was equivalent to weakness, and anything that signified femininity was lesser than. And as I've gotten older, my love for pink has grown. My love for my feminine side has grown. My love for my softer side has grown. And being able to show that publicly, being able to make pink the theme color for something I've put so much effort and hard work into, is a sign of healing. I noticed this pink little dragon and I'm like, oh yeah, like I could get, a little stuffed animal for the podcast. And then of course it's a dragon. Dragon reminds me of a phoenix rising out of the ashes. I'm like, oh, that's kind of me right now. Like, I'm like this little phoenix rising out of the pain. And so I pick it up and I look at this cute little creature and I open it to look when the birth date is. And its name is Mia. I can't even make that up. And it just felt like this wonderful sign from the universe that I was on the right track, that I was doing the right thing, that everything was going to be okay, that I was taking a chance on myself and it was going to pay off, that, that the best was yet to come, like that this is really only the beginning. It was that nudge that I needed. It was that confirmation that I needed, because everything had to work out so perfectly for me to end up in that grocery store that day. And I had to be in the right mental space for me to even feel like it was okay to go look at these little stuffed animals. And what are the odds? It's like, like this really is me. All of that to say, I get it, Gary. I get loving your stuffed animals. That's why that story stuck out to me. That's why I donated. Hopefully you could take a look at the website and find something that resonates with you. Maybe it's going to be a name of someone you know. Maybe you're going to see your own name. There is a search bar. Feel free to look up your name, see what comes up. One of the girls I saw recently, I don't know if it's still up, her name was Mia. She was 21. It's a year younger than me. My same name. I highly, highly encourage you, look at the website, read a couple stories. If it doesn't encourage you to give, I don't know what will. For today and for this episode, that will be the last wish that I'm granting. Not to be cheesy, I feel like the Grinch when its heart has grown 3 times in size. And I'm just like on cloud 9 right now. That's all I really had somewhat briefly, broadly planned for this episode. I hope your Christmas is great and very warm and bright and filled with lots of light. I hope you're surrounded with family. If this is a difficult time for you, I hope you find as much peace as you can. Feel free to reach out to me anonymously or personally if you need someone to talk to. My DMs are always open for that kind of a thing. I'm not a licensed therapist yet, so it will not be any professional advice, and I do still have to take time and set boundaries for my own mental health and well-being, but I will respond with the best of my ability, the best of my advice that I know, and with the kindest and compassionate response that I know. Sometimes we just need to know that someone cares, someone's listening, someone hears us, just an acknowledgement that someone is witnessing what you're going through and what you're feeling can sometimes be enough. And if that's something I could provide to you, then I want to. So with all that said, love bugs, I will see you New Year's Day. Crazy. 2026. What the heck? Crazy. Anyways, yeah, I love you guys. Of course, like, comment, subscribe if you feel so up to it. And until next time, love, Mia Rose.